G'day and welcome back to the Weedy Garden, the windy garden today because it's very, very windy. This is a very exciting video for me because any respectable person with a vegetable garden needs to have a compost. So I made this one and it's out of corrugated iron and a few star pickets. It's a very simple build with some screws and some wire. But on a day like today, it reminds me of the Three Little Pigs, you know? When the wolf was blowing the first one down that was made of straw, the second one that was made of sticks, and the third one, well, he's going to be made out of bricks, right? I like this compost. It's been very functional for me. I'll probably put about 1 ton of compost through these bays. So this year, I've put all the compost I need on my garden beds already. So I don't want to turn my compost every second day anymore, just for a while. So for the past 3 months, I've just been building up these bays here, putting on cow manure and ash and charcoal and dead cane toads and food scraps and garden scraps. All right, anything that was once alive that's now ready to be decomposed. I call it the soil factory. So on the Weedy Garden, it's all about learning and evolving and growing, okay? So this compost bay, I made this in a matter of minutes back in 2020 when we had the COVID. I didn't think I was going to be up here on the hill for very long. So it was kind of like a temporary compost bay. But I was down at Jodie's. Jodie is the latest winner of the Weedy Garden Makeovers.
Hi!
Yeah.
G'day, how are you?
If you didn't know, the Weedy Garden gives away a Weedy Garden every 6 months, okay? You can check out more about that on the website. But we were down at Jodie's, who was the last winner, down in Victoria. And she had a lot of bricks that were sitting underneath an old pepper tree in her backyard. So first thing, we've got a bunch of bricks here. Big pile of bricks that are left over from the house build 30 years ago. We're going to build the compost bays, this time out of bricks. So I decided to repurpose those bricks and make the world's strongest compost bay. So I put my callers out to find a brickie down in Crossley, but they were all playing football. But I did find one and his name was Dennis Bushell, a very good brickie. We had a great time and he showed me how I could build such a compost bay that's going to last 100 years. Right, so he and I are going to show you step by step things you've got to be aware of when you're building something out of bricks. So if you've never laid bricks before, you should be able to build the world's strongest compost bay after this video. But before I get into it, I want to show you something that I think might be interesting. I haven't seen it myself, but I want to share it with you. One section at a time. There we go. Here it comes. There we go. I wonder if there's any mice in there. Oh, look, there's worms in here, look. Ah. Nice worms. You know the compost is good when you can just rub a ball of it in your hands and it stays like a nice little ball. And if you rub some on your hands, you want it to stick. It's really nice. That's what you want, nice sticky compost soil. So since I built mine, I basically would like to build it better. Alrighty. Been travelling all day, about 2 hours away from Jodie's place. I'm excited about this weekend. I'm coming down a few days earlier than everybody else to get things organised. But really excited, really excited.
Turn left onto Foxhowl Road, C164.
So we're here on the first day at Jodie's place and the first challenge we have is to get this big tree root out because this is where our compost bay is going to go. So this is like in front of one of the bays, see? So what we're doing now is just digging down a little bit so we can get the chainsaw in low enough to be able to cut it underground and then we'll fill it up with dirt back again. Can you split that yet? I think it's still a bit, oh yeah.
I'll chop a bit more.
Do that a couple more times.
Ready? Hey!
You've got to press this down. This is where the big hole was. We've just laid out the bricks. This is what we're going to do. We've got 3 bays here, and we're going to put our worm farm. So I've just done the measurements, and the next thing we need to do is dig a big trench and fill it up with concrete. So let's do that. Okay, Jodie, little job for you.
Okay.
If you just go and spray on the outside.
All the way around?
And then on the inside.
Follow the bricks.
Follow the bricks all the way around. That's the way. All the way around. Yeah. Yes, we can take all the bricks and almost done.
Almost there.
I reckon those 2 small ones might pull.
Done.
So these trenches are not easy to dig, are they? Because there's like big roots coming in all over. There's a big one there, isn't there? But getting this trench dug is one of the big heavy jobs this morning. Okay, step 1 complete. We have dug our trench. And the trench, just so you know, if you're going to do a job like this at home, 40 centimetres deep. It's about, it's a little bit wider than a brick. And that's just going to be filled up with concrete soon. So it gives a nice stable base for our wall. It's not a supporting wall, of course. The wall's only 1 metre high. So that's all we need. That's looking ready for the next step. Is that deep enough? That's good enough. Thank you. Here comes the concrete. The cement truck's just arrived. Okay. Oh, nice wheelbarrow full of concrete. Fire in the hole. Fire in the hole.
Fire in the hole.
Okay, I'll pour it in the first hole. You got you working hard?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, you got a bit of cement on your forehead. Step 2 complete. Now we've got the foundation down, and we've just cleaned up all the loose cement that's on the corners there, because once that hardens, that's going to be a difficult corner to get into, so we want it to be nice and sharp. But that's going to just sit and dry now overnight, and we can start laying the bricks on it tomorrow morning. Okay, I'm out here at night time just checking on the cement to make sure it's hardened and ready for tomorrow, because the guys didn't put any rapid hardener in it, so I'm just going to check to see if it works, see if it's hard enough. It feels pretty good actually. Absolutely ready. Oh, that's good. Then I can sleep well tonight.
Yeah, with the mortar, usually the mix is 12 of sand, 2 of cement and about 1.5 lime, and a little bit of this stuff which is plasticizer. You can get away with dishwashing liquid, but don't put too much in. So I just tip in about 50 ml. You can see there's probably half a bucket of water in there. That's me 7.
7, yeah.
I'm going to go a full bag of cement. A little tricky, if you haven't got a knife, you just grab the ear, I call it. You can tear the bag open very easily that way. So yeah, by hand if you haven't got a knife. So I'm going to put a full bag of cement in there now. That's about 2.5 shovelfuls of cement.
Why you put lime in?
It's for elasticity and plasticity. So it actually means the mud can flex a bit over the years. So if there's a crack in the brickwork, it can heal. With the lime makes it heal. So to cut the bag open, I just give it a hit like that. There, it's open. This stuff you've got to watch your lungs with it though. Yeah. There's 1 shovelful. There's 3/4. It's looking good so far. Another 7 of sand. And try and make them pretty even without being. Don't want to go too big or too small. 3. Now we've got to wait for it to mix up. We'll see. It looks a bit dry still. They say it should mix for 3 minutes, but us brickies, once it's mixed, we get it out. Still a bit off it, so a fair bit off it. So let it mix for a couple more minutes. But yeah, this hand here's got a lot of cuts on it.
So how come you don't wear gloves?
Oh, you can feel what you're doing a lot better when you're not wearing gloves, but I probably will relent and wear a glove on one hand today.
Because it's cold?
Not because it's cold. Oh, this hand's just got too many cuts on it. Yeah. I mean, they mightn't look bad, but you get a cut on your hand, and when you get the mortar in it, it burns it. So yeah, it really stings. So yeah. This is mortar, so yeah, once you mix it up.
So what are you doing there, Dennis?
Just put a string line on this little thing called a line block. You wrap it around, so then that'll hook onto the brick at each end, and that holds a string line so I can lay my bricks to it. So I put that on, and then I have to keep some force on the string line so it doesn't come off. I've got that line block on. I've got a fair bit of tension on it, but not too much. If it was a big corner, you can put way more force on it. So I'll set out my first course. But I like to roll my mud away from the heat, so do a little bit of a roll like that. Then hopefully you get a good spread. So work your way along, then you do a little furrow like that. Looks easy when you've been doing it for a while. That should spread a fair way there now. You can see how far that spreads for about 3 bricks on. So you do a little furrow there, and that's how you spread your bed. See how it's still sticking? So I do 1, 2, 3. So there's my mortar on the brick. And then it should just almost sit in. Let's have a look. Shouldn't have to tap it at all. I've sat that brick. How easy is that?
How do you make sure that this is not this way or this way?
It's not tilting.
Yeah.
The first course can tilt a tiny bit now and again, but that's just experience. So yeah, don't have to plumb the bricks. I think it's close enough to my eye. Check your brickwork for level. It's always a crossways. Check your brickwork for plumb. It's always up and down.
But this compost hopefully will be standing here in 100 years still.
We hope so. Yeah. Okay. Where we tie it in here, we'll need some wall ties, and I can show you what they are. They're actually my utes. So yeah, I'll get some of them on the go and we'll install them later. I'll set that out now and let it dry for a while. Because if I build a corner straight on top of that, that's going to sink, but I can build my corner at the far end. Yeah. So we'll get away with it, yeah. One of the things about bricklaying, it might sound silly, it's a bit silly, you really got to do your prep. You can't just do stuff. You've got to work out which order am I going to do it in, or else you can get in trouble. So in about another half an hour, this mud will be dry enough for me to work on. So I'm putting a bit of cement on there to try and dry that mud out a bit.
So this is going to be our little slot. So we want our boards in
to be able to fit in there.
And that's a nice little gap. So they're just not quite tight. So that's good.
Something like that. I'll put a little bit of mud on the end here just so. And I'll tie that across. When you're building a corner, you lay the bricks as best you can by eye, then you check it for level, which is pretty level. I'm running down just a bee's knee, but I'll get it next course, see that? So then we check each end for plumb, which hopefully this time it's pretty hard to check that for plumb. It's pretty close. The end of that brick's actually a bit out of square. Then we'll check this other end for plumb as well. And the last one then, we've got both the ends right. Then we check along here. I say check the face. A lot of bricklayers say check the range to make sure it's nice and straight. So you've got to level it, plumb it, check the face. And you be very methodical. That's the only way to do it. So I'm going to build this corner up. So I'll be pretty right for a while. Right. Yeah, you build up a corner first. So yeah.
So that's what we're doing now.
Yeah, building up a corner on the end. When we're working on a house, we set up a profile or a corner pole. We just pull our string lines off that. I'm feeling with my trowel just there. See that? I'm gathering up the mud.
Because your trowel is straight, so if that's running along the side, that should bring it up straight the whole way.
Exactly right.
And then a little chopped off one at the end.
Yep, to make the half bond. Oh, that's called half bond, where you bond the bricks over. Yeah.
And that makes it stronger.
Yeah, that makes it strong. There are different bonds, but we nearly use half bond all the time. Yeah. I like to put my level right on the very front, and then I'll give the brickwork a little bit of a tap in the behind in the middle. So, because I think the front of the brick's where it's got to be exactly level. If there's a lump on the brick back in the middle, then you get it level there. It won't be level at the front. So I'd like to put a little trowel on the front, and then if it's a little bit out anyway, I'll give it a little bit of a tap. As you can see there, that's pretty much spot on for level. So I got that pretty right. So we've got that lead plumb, then we'll check every corner for plumb. You've got to be very methodical, work your way around. So we've got everywhere pretty plumb. So what we do now is we then check all the faces. So we don't touch the corners, we know they're right, so we'll give the middle a hit. Nice and straight, and we work our way back around this way and have a look here. You can see these bricks, a couple of them are in a bit, so I've just got to give them a little bit of a tap out in the middle. And I know that's exactly right, because I have got the ends right.
So this is an important little part of our design, is that we're putting only half bricks in here because we want our compost to be an aerobic compost. So we're going to have little ventilations here. So every second layer of bricks, we're going to just put in half bricks without mortar. So that'll give us a nice little ventilation. And we want to have a nice little gap there so it doesn't get clogged up with material. And it's kind of easy to clean these little air vents with a stick. When we're finishing this off, we're going to get our trowel or our stick or something and just clean out all that mortar when it's getting a bit harder? Is that what we're going to do?
Yes, we do. We've got a little trowel called a Dutch jointer. That cleans out all the I call them weep holes. They're a bigger hole. It's a special tool we use, and yeah, that will clean that out, or even with a flat stick.
So what have we got there, Dennis?
Oh, they're called wall ties. We put them in to join the bricks together when we need to. Don't really need them there because it is tied, bonded together, but I like to put a few extras in to make sure it's strong.
So our pile of bricks is getting smaller.
Love it.
You got it.
I just wanted to see, this is a way you combine the wall together. So you've put these bricks in, but you've only put sand in there.
Yeah, I put sand in every fourth course, so this wall then can tie through in every fourth row in, so it'll never move. So yeah, that's just called a tie in there. So I lay the bottom in sand, give them a little rub, pulls out, and then we clean out the hole. There's a hole there now for the brick to tie into. I place the brick in through here to bond that wall in, so it can't be pushed over sideways.
What are you doing, Chris?
Round jointing the bricks.
What's round jointing mean?
So round jointing is scraping the concrete off, and then we get a little round jointer, which is this tool. And you start here and you just work the joints off, going down like that, so they get a round joint on them. And from there, you run across like that, and it finishes off the concrete or the mud right across the joints. And after all that, you scrape it all off and it looks nice and neat.
Nice. Hey Dennis, how's it going?
Oh, getting close. I'm not going to quite finish today.
And I can see Chris has been cleaning the holes. That looks good.
Chris has done a great job, really has. Yeah.
So what are we doing now, Dennis?
Weedy, yeah, just filling up all the holes to get a nice smooth finish. So on the top of the brickwork to make it waterproof and stronger.
Yeah.
So it looks really good. And we'll have a look at the end of the day. If it dries out enough, we will run over it just with a brush or a sponge, just to get a really smooth finish on the top.
So we're making, this is one of the middle walls of the compost bay, and we're going to have our slats on each side of the wall. So this is a little bit different formation than the corner walls. Just a little thing to note.
And you can see I've got wall ties in there to hold all these halves together, but I am bonding it across the front, so yeah. It's a little bit complicated just here.
Hey Dennis.
Yeah, Weedy.
Mate, this is looking beautiful.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Just two more, what do you call it, two more rows?
Yeah, 3 more courses to go, and then we'll be finished.
Starting to take shape, isn't it?
It is taking shape. It's a bit of a work of art. So.
Okay, what are you doing, Dennis?
Yeah, I'm laying my last brick, thank God.
The last one?
Yes, just buttering it now. Yep.
Oh, this is at the monumental moment, I guess.
This
hey,
is
stop. Hey, Jodie.
Hey.
We're just laying the last brick on the compost. Do you want to have the honour?
I do.
Okay. And the drum roll. There we go.
Okay, so I'm going in this way, Dennis.
Yeah, that's it. It's right, yep, perfect there now. Get in a bit closer
Needs
to
to
the
go
line.
into against the string.
Oh, yeah, okay, against the string.
That's it. Give it a push down.
A little bit more up against the string.
A bit lower.
That's it.
And scrape it with this.
Got to be level with the string as well.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Chuck it
sorry.
in there and push it down a bit more. Yeah, see, now it's level with the string.
Yeah.
And it's level out this way. Looks pretty good to me, Jodie. Mate, it looks pretty finished to me.
Should be strong for 100 years, I reckon.
Well, that's the idea of this one. So that just leaves it up to you, mate, to put on the finishing touches.
Yeah, mate.
What do you got here, David?
These are all the fronts for the compost bins.
Okay.
So this is out of the recycled timber.
I reckon we should see if they fit.
Oh, they'll fit.
Oh, yeah, be real careful because they're a bit wet. Look at that. It works. Lovely. I can see how we're gonna just keep coming. That's it, boys and girls. Watch out. That's it. It is the final details that make things beautiful. So we're just cleaning up the last of it now. Raking and cleaning up. So we're going to start filling our compost, well, not ours, Jodie's compost bay, full of yummy goodness. So we're just going to take a little trip out in the sheep country, and we're going to go to a shearing shed where there's a lot of sheep manure we can easily collect. Okay, Jodie, see underneath here?
Yeah.
That's where all the sheep manure is, because they've got grated floors on the bottom of the wool shed, so the poo just comes underneath. Oh, look, that's the way to go. How far are you going? Oh, look, that's the way.
Ah, got the bucket? It's not the most glamorous job.
Thank you.
Okay. Beauty.
Got another one? I'll take it. The world's strongest compost bay. That's what we're hoping it will be, and we're hoping this is going to be standing here for the next 100 years or more. Beautiful finish, isn't it? Let's have a look. I got it. Look at that. And these planks, they're from the trees out the front as well, Jodie?
Yes, they are, from our eucalyptus.
Nicely fitting. So basically you just pull these up one at a time and then you can get into your compost. We don't have to take them off today because we're going to fill these bays up with stuff. You got plenty of sheep manure, which is lovely. We can give some to the worms and we'll use a lot of it in the compost here. We've got some cardboard, we've got some wood chips, a bit of dry leaves and dry grass and stuff we've been just raking around the garden. So basically all of that we can put in our compost and turn into beautiful soil.
Great.
So I did send some bacteria juice to you, but it hasn't arrived unfortunately. But when that does, just mix a bit in and water that in the compost that we're going to do today, and that'll speed everything up.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Start off with a bit of this. We need to kind of rip it up a bit.
Yeah.
But Carmen has been in already and taken all the plastic off because we don't want plastic in our compost.
No,
And we'll
just
do
the
it, we'll put it in the middle bay. So I'm thinking that's where we're going to start. So we'll just rip this up first. Rip it up into small pieces if possible. We don't want to put all the cardboard in the bottom. We want to make it in layers.
Like a lasagna.
Yeah, like a lasagna. A compost lasagna. So I think the next step is a bit of sheep poo.
Okay.
You can actually have 2 composts going at a time, but we've got the rest of the compost soil that we used in the garden beds. There was a little bit left over, so that's kind of your compost soil bay finished, ready to go.
Yep.
But if that's empty, then you can fill these both up. You empty this one into there, and then you empty that one into there.
Yep.
And 2 days later, you empty that one back and that one back, and you can
Move around.
You can have 2 going at the same time. We'll put on this sheep manure, and then we'll get a bit of water. You got your hose ready?
I have.
So I'll get some wood chips. Look at that.
Yeah, have a look.
You want to have this nice and moist, Jodie?
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll need a lot of water on this sheep manure
Okay.
because it's quite dry, and it's a question of getting the right moisture content. If it's too dry, it takes too long. If it's too wet, it just gets all gluggy.
Okay, so what are we looking for?
You're looking for the no dry spots. So you keep spraying, and I'll just get a bit more wood chips.
I'll keep spraying.
All right, a bit more wood chips, more cardboard. You can see there's little vent holes.
Yeah.
That's so it can get the air in.
Is that important?
It is important. You need your compost to be, that's the whole idea with turning it as well. It kind of gets it aerated and a little bit of sugarcane mulch we've got left over. You need greens and browns. Do you know the difference between greens and browns?
Is it more than just the colour, Weedy?
It's pretty much the colour. Because this, for example, that's brown, right? We agree on that?
Yes,
Yeah.
I agree.
Usually just after while it's alive and just after it's been killed, it's still green. But the longer it stays out, the greenness goes up in the sky again and leaves the brown behind. That's the nitrogen goes back up into the air.
Yeah.
So by putting the browns on, what happens is that nitrogen, it sucks up into the carbon. So the greens get absorbed into the browns.
Yeah.
That's why you mix them up. And it also, yeah, you kind of need the browns and greens together so it doesn't just get all gluggy. So if you just filled this up with your green grass clippings, it would just get gluggy and hot and and yucky.
Our lasagna's getting big.
Our lasagna's getting big, yeah.
There
And
it is.
We've been collecting all the food scraps and the paper plates and paper cups from our weekend,
We have.
and it's all compost friendly.
Chicken bones?
Chicken bones, yeah, that's good. So I reckon we just lift this up and put it in. What do you reckon? You grab one end,
do
I'll
it.
grab the other. Ready?
Yep.
Here we go. They're all biodegradable, made out of compost-friendly material.
Good way to clean up.
Yeah. This is good. You know the big fire we had?
Yeah.
All that charcoal, all that ash is left. So let's go down with the wheelbarrow
Collect that.
and get that. And we'll put some in here as well.
Excellent.
That'll do us then.
That'll do it?
Yeah. Okay.
Beautiful.
Back to the soil factory. So this charcoal here is really good for giving the microbes in here a little place to live. This charcoal is like full of tiny little crevices.
Beautiful.
Oh, it's a big compost pile. This is the last one now. Okay, the last and final step.
Yes.
Do you like our sign that Peter made?
I love the sign.
Yeah, he's made signs for all over the place. And I just want to say thanks, Peter, for making the signs.
Thanks, Peter.
Yeah, and if you do want to have signs like this made, there's a link in the description of this video to Peter, and he can make the signs for you, so you can have your own food forest sign and stuff. I think it's a nice little additive. So we just put the plastic on, and that because if you get 2 inches of rain tonight, that's going to get too soggy.
Yeah.
So this is just going to kind of keep it at that moisture that we've decided already. So we just put a bit of blogs on here to keep it from blowing away tonight, because it does get pretty windy down here, doesn't it? Look at the colour of this bathtub.
I love it.
You like it?
It's perfect.
It's not really suited to the Weedy Garden.
It's suited to Jodie's garden.
Exactly. But it was like we picked that up just down the road.
Yeah.
Yeah. But let's set this up. And you've got some worms down the front garden in one of those little plastic worm farms.
I have.
They're going to feel like it's a big playground in here.
Massive upgrade.
Yeah, they'll be going, hello, hello, hello. So what we're going to do first, just for you guys watching at home, just a bit of chicken wire. Down here we've got a plug hole, right? What we want to do is we want to cover our plug hole. So I'm just going to fold this over here, like that, like that.
And that's shade cloth?
Yeah, that's just shade cloth and a bit of chicken wire, and then one of these bricks. We've got one brick left over. That's so all our junk can't fall out into our worm juice.
Perfect.
And if you look underneath here, you can see there's a bucket down there. So all that leachate, all that worm juice is going to come down in the bucket, and we've got to get a tap on the front of that.
Leave that to me.
The tap we came with was the wrong tap, unfortunately. But now we've got to put our ingredients in for the worms. And what we don't want to do is we don't want to make that lasagna like we just did with the compost.
No.
Because that's going to heat up and all the worms are going to go, woo, it's too hot in here.
Okay.
Right? So just a nice little layer. So there is some sheep manure down there somewhere. So what I'd do is I'd put a layer of this. This could kind of be their base, you know. This is kind of their, I reckon that's fine. I don't want to put too much in.
Just
but
a bit?
Because it's very cold, it's going to be cold outside.
Yeah.
So if it does get too warm in the middle, they travel.
Yep, and they'll go
travel,
to the
and they'll find
outside.
what they call a sweet spot, which is, yeah, the right temperature for them. And I think worms, they like about 37 degrees, just like us.
Yeah.
So what I think we should do is we should give that a bit of water.
Water.
So we'll just get the hose, like, you get the hose. Remember how you get the Weedy Garden hose? You go, I want a hose. There we go. It's so easy when
Just
you know
like
how to do
magic.
it. You've got to hold your mouth right.
Yeah, I do.
We've got a lot of leftovers from our meals, haven't we?
We have.
I reckon the worms will like those.
So there's some old sandwiches and veggie scraps and all sorts.
That's good. I'm going to put a little bit of charcoal in here as well, because the same story with the microbes. They've got somewhere to live.
Yep.
So, oh, I'm glad we waited for the worms. They would have freaked out about that. I might put a bit more water on that one. Just wet that down a little bit. We've got a lot of sawdust left over from our work, and this is not the wood chips. This is not the heavy-duty wood chips. This is the
Soft
nice
stuff.
soft. It's more like sawdust.
Yeah.
Just give that a little sprinkle over. Worms will eat their own weight in food every day. So if you've got a kilo of worms, you want to put a kilo of scraps in every day.
Okay.
A little bit more water. See if I can wind the water up.
Yay!
That's nice, thank you. Alrighty. Now, we just need some worms.
Shall we get them?
Yeah, let's go around the front and get the worms and we'll relocate them. This is your worm farm here.
Yeah.
It's a nice spot out of the sun. Okay. Have to look in there, bring the camera so follow. What's this guy? I wonder if there's any worms in there, Jodie? Yeah, there's worms in here.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, yeah.
Look at them all.
Lots.
Yeah, they're eating the sweet potato. They love sweet potato and pumpkin. Oh. Here comes the worms.
Yay.
Yeah. I would get an old door or a bit of corrugated iron or something like that just to cover it up again. We don't want all the rain coming in.
Yep, and flooding them.
We don't want the midday sun baking down on them either.
Yep.
We'll go and put a little blanket on them just to keep them protected. Check out the newspaper.
Look at that front page.
Look at that. Check out the front page of the newspaper. Ha! That's us. But you know, once you finish reading
Yep.
the newspaper, you can also feed them to the worms as well.
Yeah, that's okay for them?
Yeah, they do like newspaper because the ink in the newspapers is plant-based.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, I didn't know that either until someone told me. Okay, we've got all our newspapers down now.
Yeah.
And our worms and our food, water, everything's ready to go. All we need to do is just put them to sleep now. Tuck them in.
Yep.
And we need an old towel or Hessian bag or something like that. You got an old towel?
Not on me.
Not on you. You know any good tricks to get towels?
We can try.
Let's have a look.
All right. 1, 2.
We'll do it together?
Yeah, together.
We'll get 2 towels.
More magic.
Okay,
Yeah.
ready? 1, 2, 3. There we go. It's a nice colour.
Tuck them in.
Yeah, we can pack them in. That looks nice like that. Alrighty, Jodie.
Done.
Soil factory ready to go. Now you've got the hard work ahead of you
Turning.
to turn it.
I'm going to have good arms.
I reckon. So that's pretty much for this video as well. So if you paid attention, you should be able to make the world's strongest compost bay just like this one. Thanks for watching as usual. Enjoy your lives, enjoy your gardens. Have a nice day and I'll see you on the next video, everybody. Thank you.
Beautiful.